Gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from Star Wars to Superman and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. We are on Season 2, Episode 20, The Star Wars Timeline. Now, this will only be encompassing the films and television shows, and it's a spiritual successor to a previous episode I did about the Star Trek timeline. Now, much like that, I plan to do a separate episode talking about the video games, comic books, and novels, and where they fit on in the timeline. So let's start at the beginning. So the Star Wars timeline in film and TV begins with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, which takes place 35 BBY. Now, BBY means before the Battle of Yavin, and the Battle of Yavin was the final battle in the original Star Wars film from 1977. And so ABY means after the Battle of Yavin, and that's for. So now you know if you were unfamiliar with dates in the Star Wars galaxy. There's BBY and ABY. So 35 years before the Battle of Yavin, we have the Phantom Menace. Then 10 years after that, in 25 BBY, we have Attack of the Clones. Then from 25 to 20 BBY, we have the Clone Wars. Then in 20 BBY, we have Revenge of the Sith. And then 5 years later, we have the show Droids, The Adventures of R2-D2 and C3PO. This is a cartoon from the 1980s, and it talks about what R2 and 3PO were doing in between Revenge of the Sith and the first movie. Then we have Andor, which is a new show that I have not seen at the time of recording, but I have heard that it's really good, so please do not spoil it for me. That takes place 5 BBY. Then we have Rogue One, which takes place 0 BBY, which means the same year. And again, Star Wars is 0 BBY. And then we have The Empire Strikes Back, which is 3 ABY, so 3 years after the Battle of Yavin. Then, in that same year, we have Caravan of Courage and Ewok Adventure, which is a movie from 1985, or 4, excuse me, which takes place the same year as The Empire Strikes Back, and it's about Endor and the inhabitants there. And then we have Ewoks The Battle for Endor, same year. Then we have the Ewoks cartoon, same year. Then for ABY, we have Return of the Jedi. And then, jumping ahead a few years, we have The Mandalorian, which takes place between 9 and 11 ABY. And then, jumping ahead a few decades, we have The Force Awakens, which takes place 34 years after the Battle of Yavin. And that same year, we have The Last Jedi. And finally, we have The Rise of Skywalker, which is 35 years after the Battle of Yavin. And it's interesting because The Phantom Menace is 35 years before the first movie, and The Rise of Skywalker is 35 years after that. So that's just a interesting little piece of trivia for you there. And yeah, so that is the entire Star Wars timeline, encompassing the films and television shows. Like I said, I'm going to do a separate episode about the novels and the comic books and the video games. Because if I had done all those, we'd be here for quite a while, because there are a lot of books and games in the Star Wars franchise. So, I've been a Star Wars fan for a very long time, and my favorite movies are the original trilogy, but I also like Revenge of the Sith. And I'm enjoying The Mandalorian. At the time of recording, I just got caught up last night, and first couple of episodes in season 3, well, the first episode in season 3 was fine. Then the latter two were a little but this last one was pretty good. Again, that's just my opinion. But I also really enjoyed Rogue One, and especially that final scene. But let me know what your favorite Star Wars movie and TV show is. And thank you so much for listening to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. Once again, my name is Aiden, and I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. And please check out my YouTube channel, the National Timely Action Hour, for comic book reviews, video game gameplays, movie reviews, etc. Thanks, and have a good one. Bye.